What is it about Jennifer Lopez that everyone seems to have a problem with her? Weak tour sales, a perplexing album movie documentary, and general online mocking are all possibilities. There was a collection of multimedia projects that Jennifer Lopez released in February. Each of these projects was a component of a broader message, which could be considered a misplaced statement about the power of love or something. Among those was the film This Is Me. The next album is a late-career pop record that is quite corny and generally unimpressive. In addition, there was This Is Me. Now, A Love Story is a blockbuster musical that is a loosely biographical adaptation of the album that is quite egomaniacal. It is full of astrological melodrama, flashy choreography, and celebrity appearances. A Love Story is more renowned for its awkwardly intrusive peeks into J.Lo's famous affair with Ben Affleck, who is obediently supportive but quite plainly uncomfortable. Taking everything into consideration, it is clear that this is as overproduced and frustrating as it seems. On social media, each initiative has been welcomed with a range of reviews, from positive to negative, as well as general ridicule. J.Lo herself admitted to Variety that she was the one who created and self-financed the musical, which cost $20 million. This was despite the fact that everyone in her creative orbit, including co-producer Elaine Goldsmith-Thomas and castmate Jane Fonda, cautioned her about the possibility of further overexposure of her relationship with Affleck. On the other hand, J.Lo persisted, and the end result is a production that is utterly uncanny. It is distressingly evocative to Tyler Perry's I Can Do Bad All By Myself, as well as James Cameron's Avatar and Paul Hunter's music video for Wild Wild West. Jane Fonda portrays Sagittarius, and Fat Joe plays J.Lo's therapist in the most cringeworthy release featuring either Jennifer Lopez or Ben Affleck since Giggly, which is really rather apt. J.Lo has hastily renamed the concert series as a Greatest Hits Tour in order to capitalize on the extremely low number of tickets that have been sold for the tour that is being used to promote This Is Me now. It is common practice to give pop artists an excessive amount of attention. It's not like Mariah Carey and Justin Timberlake haven't also pushed their own post-peak vanity projects to mediocre receptions in recent years. Furthermore, we know perhaps a little too much about J.Lo's contemporaries in the pop music industry. For a significant portion of her career, J.Lo has been a figure that is eerily devoid of empathy. She is a stone-cold climber whose mistakes have garnered a tremendous deal of schadenfreude and, more recently, a certain amount of blowback. For a long time, Lopez has been a figure that is more contentious than initially appears. As Lopez was promoting her aforementioned projects a couple of weeks before their release dates, this was the central conflict that occurred on Saturday Night Live a few months ago. The presenter, Ayo Edebiri, who was also a coster in The Bear, and Lopez, who was a musical guest, were all involved in the drama. Tam has unearthed some old footage of Edebiri as a guest on Lacey Mosley's podcast, Fraud Goddess, the day before the taping in New York. In the clip, Edebiri is heard saying that Lopez can't sing and calling her musical career as one long scam. In one sense, these were jokes, a comedy actor making fun of a pop diva in a conversation that was harmlessly petty and had been brought to you by Team Coco. But in another sense, well, actually, this has always been the shadowed discourse about J.Lo. She is unable to sing, and not in the typical way that a lot of pop stars who are heavily reliant on auto-tune are unable to sing. J.Lo goes to the extent of concealing her voice by using uncredited vocals from other singers, ranging from Ashanti, I'm Real, Ain't It Funny, to Meghan Trainor, Ain't Your Mama. In response to the clip of Edebiri, Lopez stated to Variety that she had, in fact, heard similar things said about me throughout my career. This is because these complaints are so prevalent that they are considered to be commonplace. While Lopez would publicly declare that Edebiri's comments were nothing more than a minor annoyance, Edebiri began her performance on Saturday Night Live with a sketch that made reference to her criticism of Lopez. This was a ritualistic attempt at self-humiliation that was only somewhat humorous. It was true that Lorne Michaels was making the best of a difficult position, but it also felt like Lopez was putting Edebiri in her place, even though Edebiri wasn't directly responsible for the production of the sketch. Additionally, Lopez made it a point to inform Variety that Edebiri reached out to her and expressed her regret with tears in her eyes. This is the character that Jennifer Lopez has never sought out but has played on and off for decades now. It is the role of a pop villain, or if she is not exactly a villain, she is a sort of hapless foil. Her well-known spat with Mariah Carey, which took place in the early 2000s, resulted in the famous comment from Carey, which was given in response to a question about J.Lo. I don't know her. This rivalry originated as a result of Carey's divorce from her label boss, Tommy Mottola at Sony. According to reports, Mottola was the one who drove the label to aggressively promote Lopez and scornfully trash the career of his ex-wife. Despite the fact that the competition between these two ladies never evolved into any direct confrontation or explicit denunciation, J-Lo has always come across as the loser, a woman who is out of her depth. Matola and the tabloids were the ones who placed these two women against each other. J-Lo began her career as a fly girl on the television show In Living Color and as the breakout heroine in the entertained biopic Selena, which was directed by Gregory Nava. I was living in the 1990s. Before Lopez's disastrous involvement with Puff Daddy, before her Cold War with Maria, and before her multimedia reach, which far exceeded her grasp, could culminate in something as unwieldy and off-putting as This Is Me. Now, a love story, these were the only years in which Lopez was so uncontroversially beloved. In retrospect, these were the only years in which Lopez was so beloved. The majority of the cynicism that has been directed on J-Lo over the years, up until its most recent peak, is centered on the proportion of fame and talent that she possesses. There is a feeling that even the pinnacles of her own career do not quite measure up to those of her contemporaries or win her the same kind of enduring goodwill as they do. Mariah Carey was undoubtedly the most formidable female pop vocalist of her generation, with a scary command of 5 octaves. Jennifer Lopez, on the other hand, was a superb dancer with a relatively weak singing voice, as it has cleared anyone who has ever listened to the chorus of Waiting for Tonight with attentiveness. Despite the fact the rivalry that was taking place was not real and in any event was not J-Lo's fault or problem, this contrast was always a little bit misleading. However, it is indisputable that J-Lo is a skilled performer despite the fact that she is having a difficult time limiting her goals in order to answer that annoying and unavoidable question: talented at what exactly? And this is me, now. A story about love. It is possible that Lopez would have been more successful if she had performed a dance showcase that was more straightforward, a shrewd attempt to capitalize on the positive reception she received following her outstanding performance alongside Shakira at Super Bowl LIV. On the other hand, it was inevitable that it would be an overblown showcase for J-Lo in her roles as an actor, singer, writer, producer, and enthusiast as well. For sure, Bennifer is a tabloid romance for the ages, but it is also the aspect of J-Lo's legacy that has been overexposed the most frequently. It is also the aspect that is in stark contrast to her posturing as Jenny from the block, when she is at this point so obviously and completely a creature of Hollywood, the target of so much resentment, just as Fonda had warned her. Share your views and opinions with us in the comments below. If you're new to our channel, then do like, share, and subscribe to our channel before leaving. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for the latest news. Thanks for watching.